it's time for the College Dreamstream series at Delaware Valley University. Game 1 of the Dreamstream series will be between the Philly Bandits 17U squad and the Boilermakers 16U team. Home team today would be the Bandits, and the Boilermakers will be batting first as they are the visiting squad for the Boilermakers. The visiting squad, they got Amelia Chanoin batting first, and the pitcher for the Bandits will be Michael Miller. He's a right-hander. At 6'3", 180 pounds, 3.9 GPA. He takes the hill first. And looking at the defensive order for the Bandits, got Martin behind the plate, Myers at first, Albert at second base, Rabi at shortstop, Kaplan at third, Kalenko, he's out in left field, Grasso in center, and Ruda in right field. Game almost underway as Miller is getting his final warm-up pitches in. Getting the off-speed and the fastball ready for this 9 o'clock start at Delaware Valley University. It's a beautiful fall day, around mid-50s right now. Going to get it into the upper 70s today. Currently it just reached 60, but the high today will be around 75 degrees. A lot of sun for the Dreamstream tournament up here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Ball just came in, so here come the Boilermakers getting their first at-bats, and Emile Chanoin, the center fielder, will step in for the Boilermakers 16U squad. Everyone on this Boilermakers squad expected to graduate in 2027. First pitch is delivered for a strike. Next pitch from Miller, fouled away by Chanoin. Right side. Miller, the 0-2. Time is called. And Chanois will step out. Miller delivers, and it's chopped right off of Chanois. So it'll be a dead ball, keeping it at 0-2. It's going to shake it off. It also bounced off the catcher of Martin. Chanois steps back in. 0-2 again. In the dirt. Great block from Martin behind the dish. Extends the count to 1-2. One, two. Hit out into right center field. After it is Grasso as well as Ruda, and Grasso will get under it in right center to get the first out of this top of the first inning. Coming in next is Chase Moore for the Boilermakers. Looking at the Boilermakers lineup, they got Lucas Zipper also due up in this top of the first. Batting fourth is River Karanji, as well as Braden Barrett batting fifth. Jamie Hansen, Gavin Schaffert, Cole Kuhn, as well as Thatcher Brown, and Josh Darsney. Next pitch is fouled away. First pitch for Chase Moore. Staying aggressive. Another first pitch strike from Miller. Next pitch is hitting the center field again. A leaping grab by the shortstop of Rabi, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Flares of Derek Jeter out at shortstop, and he converts for the second out. Lucas Zipper now steps in for the Boilermakers. Lucas Zipper Upper Moreland Township High School. Stands at 5'10", 145 pounds. First pitch taken for a ball. The first pitch taken for a ball today by the Boilermakers. Next pitch is way outside, 2-0. Zipper, the catcher for the first 3 innings of this game. As he drills one into left field, racing back is Kalenko, but just has to take a few steps to his right to make the catch near the foul line for out number 3. So the Boilermakers go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first. We're going to go to the bottom of the first when we come back right here on BFA. Welcome back to Delaware Valley University, the Dreamstream College Series tournament here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Bandits taking on the Boilermakers. Bandits in the field defensively. Got the Boilermakers down 1, 2, 3 with a fly out, line out, and another fly out from Zipper. So they'll go with Albert, Kaplan, and Rabi to start off the bottom of the first. Left-hander, second baseman for the Bandits leading off. For the pitcher for the Boilermakers, it's Josh Darsney. 2027 expected graduation, delivers for first pitch strike. Upper Moreland Township High School, he resides from. 5'11", 155 pounds. Next pitch is outside, 1-1 for Albert. Lucas Albert, he's expected to graduate in 2026. He's a typical middle infielder, 5'7", 155 pounds. Next pitch from Darsney is fouled off the foot of Albert as he uses the bat as a cane to walk it off. Make sure that he's okay. The first bounce was off his foot, so that definitely will be a mark tomorrow morning. Looks like he's okay, so he'll come back in a 1-2 count against Darsney. 2 right-handers getting the start between the Bandits and the Boilermakers. Next pitch is drilled down the first base line, but it hooks foul. And it'll go right into the tarp tube. The 1-2 again. Poked out towards shortstop. He makes the play. To fire to first is in time for out number 1. So First batter for both sides go down in the field, and in steps Dax Kaplan, the typical third baseman for the Bandits. He's at third today as well. Dax Kaplan plays around the middle infield as well. A right-hander at 6'1" from South Chestnut Hill Academy. Darcy delivers the first pitch strike. Darsney, the off-speed pitch, but a lot of barrel from Dax Kaplan as he puts it into left field for a base knock. First hit of the ball game goes to the Philly Bandits and Dax Kaplan. And with a runner on, in steps the shortstop, Ronnie Raby. The Bandits wearing the pink and white jerseys, the Boilermakers wearing the dark blue and white numbering and white pants. Darsney looking for a double play potentially to be turned for the Boilermakers. Outside fastball paints the corner for strike one. A 1 count with a runner on for Darsney and the Boilermakers. Next pitch, same spot and a different result, and it's a swinging strike for the Bandits. Darsney just eyeing first base, making sure that Kaplan stays still. He steps off to make sure that Kaplan stays there. He's still stalking him at first. He gets set. Next pitch is an off speed, and he swings through it for strike three. First strikeout for either side today, and it goes to Ronnie Raby. And then steps the cleanup batter, Alex Myers. Myers is a catcher for the Bandits, 6'1", 160 pounds from Germantown Academy, born in 2007. Way upstairs. 1-0 start for Darsney. Dax Kaplan got the first hit of this game as the second batter in this lineup. He's over at first base after the one-out single, and Darsney has been stalking him ever since he's gotten on first base. This is the second step-off that he's had. The 1-0. It's drilled into left field again and dunks down for another base hit for the Bandits. And it gets off of Shafford in left field, and it goes all the way to the corner, and they're going to capitalize. There will be no throw home, and the Bandits are up early 1-0. But it just went off of the left fielder of Shafford, off of his glove, and it was a crucial mistake. Could have been 2 runners on, but instead it's a runner in scoring position with a 1-0 lead for the Bandits. Myers got all the way to second base. Kaplan was able to score. That was the speed that Darsney was worrying about. Darsney, the first pitch to the 5-hole batter of Gavin Grasso, center fielder today. Grasso, left-hander, 6 foot, 195 pounds, from Abington High School. He takes time. It's the first time that Darsney has a runner in scoring position. Next pitch, chopped weakly foul, opposite way. Extending the count for Darsney. Darsney taking his time. Switching back from second base to home plate. So he'll step off. keeping all these Philly Bandits runners in check, whether they're at first or second base in the bottom of the first. Alex Myers at second base. Next pitch from Darsney is outside. 2-1 count for Gavin Grasso. Darsney set. 2-1. Fastball high and away. 3-1. Do have the batting cage behind home plate. Some of the equipment of the batting cage is broke, and it is still behind home plate, and if it does reach into that area, it'll be ruled the dead ball. 3-1. Drilled into center field. After it is Chanois. He gets under it, and he makes the catch for the third and final out of the bottom of the first. But Alex Myers delivers an RBI and scores Dax Kaplan in the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 Philly Bandits as they're taking on the Boilermakers here on BFA. We'll be back with the top of the second. Four, 5, and 6 due up in the college Dreamstream series. At Delaware Valley University, Boilermakers taking on the Philly Bandits. Boilermakers bringing out their 16U squad, and the Bandits with their 17U squad today. This 9 a.m. start. It's already 1-0, and four-hole batter of River Karanji takes for a strike from Michael Miller. Miller with the off-speed pitch, 1-1. His entire warm-up routine before this top of the second was strictly all off-speed pitches until that final pitch was called by the catcher of Martin. Another strike at the knees, 1-2. Karanji from LaSalle College High School as he gets plunked in the back. So on a 1-2 count, he gets hit. And we'll go over to first base on a hit by pitch. Definitely like to see a guy on first base, but not with a baseball mark on his back. So Karanji at first base for the Boilermakers. In steps Braden Barrett. Braden Barrett is the only guy on this team expected to graduate in 2028. Everyone else expected to graduate in 2027. Barrett from Central Bucks South High School in Pennsylvania. First pitch was taken for a ball. Inside fastball, 2-0. First time Miller has gotten any action at first base. First inning he went 1-2-3, 2 flyouts and a lineout. Next pitch. High and in, but it paints the corner for a strike. 2-1 count now for Braden Barrett. So over at third base in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is way high as Barrett ducks under it. 3-1. Runner takes off. Hit and run opportunity. Fielded by the third baseman for 1. And he will be out. But both players are out due to interference. Karanji got in the way of the second baseman of Albert. And they're going to rule it a double play due to interference. So 2 runners out on 1 pitch. Karanji tried to be smart with the base running, but it costed him an out. And Braden Barrett will not be granted first base. So now 2 outs in the top of the second. Fouled away right side. Over towards the soccer fields of Delaware Valley. 0-1 start for Jamie Hansen. Started out in right field today. Next pitch is popped up in the infield. After just the shortstop of Rabi, he makes the catch right before the outfield grass for out number 3. So a hit by pitch and a double play due to interference and a pop out to the shortstop is how the top of the second inning goes for the Bandits on the defensive side of things. We'll be right back with the Bandits back up to bat when we return on BFA. Welcome back to Delaware Valley University, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Bottom of the second we go with the Boilermakers and the Bandits taking on each other in the College Dreamstream series. Josh Darsney staying in for the Boilermakers. First pitch was a fastball, just a little bit too inside for Brody Schoolin. Next pitch to Scullin is too inside again. Darsney trying to find the inside part of the plate to Brody. See if he delivers the fastball again. The 2-0 pitch. He does deliver the fastball, but it's too high. 3-0. The 3-0. And it plunks him, and he'll take first base after another hit by pitch. The second hit by pitch today. 1 for each side. That's how we start off the second inning again. The Boilermakers started off with a hit by pitch by River Karanji, and now Brody Scullin at first base to start off the bottom half of the second with a hit by pitch of his own. In steps the left fielder of Nolan Kalenko. Bandits already up 1-0 against the Boilermakers. They scored that run in the last half inning as this one's popped straight up. Chenois coming after it in right center. He makes the catch with 2 hands for out number 1. So Scullin stays at first. We have first pitch out. Darcy expected to go 3 innings today. In steps Will Henderson. He's got a runner at first in the bottom of the second. Looking to capitalize on another opportunity presented to him as he takes first pitch for a strike. A great off-speed pitch from Darcy to paint the outside corner. Will Henderson, a catcher and infielder at 5'9", 180 pounds, out of Father Judge. Next pitch is a low fastball. In the ground it goes. Over to the shortstop. They throw to second for 1. Over to first, not in time. So they do get the force out at second, but they can't turn 2 for a double play. Bandits in the last half inning were able to get a double play due to interference from the base runner of Karanji. But it was a soft grounder over to the shortstop of Moore. And they couldn't turn it around for a double play, but there's 2 outs in the second. We'll throw back to first. We'll just step off, excuse me. First pitch is off speed. 1-0. Gavin Ruda, the batter for the Philly Bandits. He's an outfielder and a left-handed pitcher as well. He bats left, as you guys can see. So he drills one right back up the middle, goes past the pitcher. They'll flip over to second in time for out number 3. They got 2 base runners on, but they keep a 0 on the scoreboard as we go to the top of the 3rd. Boilermakers and Bandits. Still a 1-0 game in favor of Philly. We'll be right back on BFA. Top of the 3rd, Bandits taking on the Boilermakers in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. College Dreamstream series underway here on BFA and the Game Changer app. It's already 1-0. Philly Bandits able to capitalize with a base runner in the 1st inning. Michael Miller still on the mound for Philly. Only given up 1 base runner with a hit by pitch. Still hasn't given up a base knock yet. Next pitch is ripped foul. The Boilermakers, they got 7, 8, 9 due up. Schaffert, Kuhn, as well as Brown. Gavin Schaffert from Upper Moreland Township, Pennsylvania. So he drills one into left field. Racing after it is Kalenko, and he extends his glove out to make the catch for out number 1. Michael Miller making some great pace today as the pitcher, and 4 pitches goes Gavin Shafford, and in steps Cole Kuhn. Kuhn is going to be playing first base once it goes to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Fastball is delivered by Miller. 0-1 count for Cole Kuhn. Next pitch, 2 outside, 1-1. Miller delivers high and in, but it's 2 inside. 2-1 count for Cole Kuhn. Foul tipped by Kuhn. Two count. Kuhn, a utility guy for the Boilermakers. St. Joe's Prep High School he's from, 6'3". As he swings through for strike 3. First strikeout for Michael Miller. It's the 2nd strikeout for both sides today. And Cole Kuhn goes down swinging. And steps the 9-hole batter, Thatcher Brown. On deck is Josh Darsney, the pitcher for the Boilermakers. Boilermakers only got 10 batters today. Bandits coming at the Boilermakers with 11 at the knees for a strike to Thatcher Brown. Next pitch delivered for a strike as well. 0-2 count for Brown. Brown's from Germantown Academy High School. 6'2", 190 pounds with a 3.7 GPA. The 0-2 pitch is jammed on Brown as it's lifted high into right field. Hat comes off for the right fielder of Ruda. He's able to make the catch, and Michael Miller goes down 1-2-3 once again for the Philly Bandits. He already has 2 today. As we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, we'll see if the Philly Bandits can extend their 1-0 lead when we come back on BFA. Bottom of the 3rd we go. Philly Bandits back up to bat, already with a 1-0 lead in the College Dreamstream series in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Delaware Valley University. Philly Bandits, as we just said, up 1-0 against the Boilermakers 16U squad. Able to score that run in the bottom of the 1st with an RBI knock from Alex Myers. For the Bandits, it's Jake Martin. He drills one down the left field line, and it hooks foul. Still Darsney on the mound for the Boilermakers. This will be his final inning, and then after that it'll be Thatcher Brown, who ended the inning, the last half inning, with a fly out into right field. And Jake Martin, he's catching today for the Bandits. Off speed, try to backdoor him. Couldn't find the zone, 1-1. Jake Martin can also play third base. 6 foot, 185 pounds from Neshaminy High School. Takes for a strike. 1-2. Jake Martin, the 10-hole batter. After that, they got Dylan Holland back, and then they'll flip the lineup card back over to the top of the order to Lucas Albert. All those guys do up in the bottom of the third. Time called. Martin steps back in. The 1-2 pitch. Called. Strike 3. Paints the outside corner for the second strikeout for Josh Darsney. His first looking of the day. Now in steps Dylan Hollenbach. Not expected to play in the field today, but he's been trusted with the bat. 2 inside for the fastball from Darsney. 1-0 start for the last batter in the lineup. Temperature climbing to the mid-60s, expected to go into the upper 70s. Next pitch is chopped foul. 1-1. Dylan Hollenbach stands at 5'8", 145 pounds. Same high school from Jake Martin. Next pitch. It's popped up in foul ground. It'll stay there. It's right behind us. Be a 1-2 count. Next pitch from Darsney to Hollenbach. 2 inside again. Hollenbach staying in this count as Darsney wants a new ball. On deck is Lucas Albert, the second baseman for the Bandits. 0 for 1 today. Darsney. Next pitch. Off speed, 2 outside. 3-2. Full count. First full count of the day for the Bandits. Dylan Hollenbach trying to capitalize. The 3-2 pitch from Darsney is drilled. Left side, it gets through for a base hit. Hollenbach getting the second base hit for the Philly Bandits today. And he'll pass the baton off to Lucas Albert. As we mentioned, 0 for 1 with the ground out. Back in the bottom of the first to start off the hitting for the Philly Bandits. The only other person to get on base with the hit was Dax Kaplan and also Alex Myers, but he was able to advance to second after the error. Big lead from Hollenbach. Thought he was going, but he had a huge secondary lead instead. One-0 count for Lucas Albert. 1-0. High and away again. Trying to see if Hollenbach will take off. It's 2-0 count. Hitters count for Albert. Darsney delivers with a fastball that gets away from Albert, and his bat gets away as well. He let go of it as he swung. 2-1. So both the ball and the bat go flying, both in foul ground. Thankfully, everybody is okay. But a 2-1 count for Lucas Albert. Third straight inning with action from the Philly Bandits as they're capitalizing and every pitch that Darsney delivers to them. Each inning, base runner has gotten on for Philly. Runner takes off. Throw down to second will not be in time, as Hollenbach got the foot in before the tag. Runner in scoring position for the Bandits. It's the 3-1 count for Lucas Albert, now with a runner in scoring position. We'll see if Albert can take advantage of the opportunity in front of him in a hitter's count and a runner in scoring position with a 1-0 lead. Next pitch outside, ball 4. Albert gets on base for the first time today via base on balls. And now in steps Dax Kaplan, the guy able to get the first hit of today's game, as well as the only person to come across home for either side today. Back to righty on righty. 2 runners on for the Philly Bandits. First pitch is drilled over to the shortstop, but it goes off the glove of Moore. And everyone will just go station to station. And the bases will be loaded with 1 out for Philly. He ruled an infield single for Dax Kaplan. Now 2 for 2. Now in is Ronnie Raby. First pitch swung through for a strike. He struck out his first time up. It was the first strikeout of the day for Darsney. Again, this should be his final inning of work, and he's got to earn it. Bases loaded, 1 out for the Boilermakers. Drilled down the left field line, and it'll hook foul. 2-strike count now for Ronnie Raby. Made a terrific diving stop and a diving catch at shortstop in the top of the first. Now he's looking to make some noise with his bat. Two-strike pitch way outside, and it gets to the backstop, and everyone will go station to station as well. Everyone moving over to each base, and it's now a 2-0 lead for the Philly Bandits after the wild pitch. So Lucas Albert now over at third base, Kaplan at second base, 2 runners in scoring position, no one at first. Hollenbach scores after the wild pitch. 2-0 Philly. Darsney set. Infield in for the Boilermakers. Chopper over to shortstop. The throw home. They got to make the tag. It's not in time. With 1 out, they try to get the runner at home, but Albert will squeeze in the foot at home plate and score the 3rd run of the game for the Philly Bandits. The Bandits have only gotten 1 ball in the outfield to score those 2 runs. Just taking advantage of the small ball opportunities presented in front of them. Insnip in for the Philly Bandits is Alex Myers. So runners on the corners for the Bandits. Kaplan at third. Raby, after the fielder's choice, over at shortstop. Alex Myers scored the 1st run of the game after a single and an error as well. Poked over to second base. They'll try and just get 1, and they will. So 2 outs now for the Boilermakers, but it's now a 4-0 game as Kaplan was able to score. Now a runner at second for Philly. Raby advances there. So now Myers is 1 for 2 today, and we'll move back to Grasso, who ended the first with a fly out to center. Outside fastball paints the corner. 0-1 count for Grasso. It's the center fielder for Philly. Time called. Well, this inning has gone down. A strikeout for Jake Martin, then a one-out single for Dylan Hollenbach, and then a walk from Albert. Dax Kaplan loaded the bases with a infield single, and a fielder's choice, a wild pitch, and a ground out resulted into 4 runs. Runners take off, and there'll only be no throw, actually, for Zipper, the catcher for the Boilermakers. So Raby will take third. Next pitch to Grasso's too high. 1-1. Been able to score 3 runs in this game. Or in this inning, I should say. 4 total. Way outside again. Might just go with the walk, and Darcy definitely mentally frustrated on the mound. Chopper over to first base, gloves it down, and they'll just step on first for the final out of the inning. But the Philly Bandits were able to score 3 runs after a single, a walk, another single, a fielder's choice, and a RBI ground out and a wild pitch for Philly Bandits to score 3 in the bottom of the third. We'll go to the top of the 4th when we come back here on BFA. Ten, 1-2 due up for the Boilermakers 16U squad in the College Dreamstream Series, Game 1 of 4 here at Delaware Valley University. 4 more games going underway in Arcadia. His first pitch is a worm burner over to third base. Cross the diamond, throw in time for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out for Josh Darcy, the pitcher, who will more likely than not come out for the 4th. It was a great throw from Kaplan, Dax Kaplan, at third base for the Philly Bandits. In steps Shan Wan. He flew out in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1. Drops in the off-speed. Michael Miller's still out there in the 4th. It's only given up a hit by pitch. Everyone else has gone down on outs. Center fielder in a 1-1 count. Tried to drop in the off speed, but just missed. 2-1. Chopped foul. 2-2. Up next is Chase Moore, the shortstop for the Boilermakers today. See what Shenwan can do as he takes outside. Full count now for the leadoff batter for the Boilermakers. (3-2) in the dirt, ball 4. Another base runner for the Boilermakers will be their second today. Last time they got a base runner was back in the second with a hit by pitch delivered by Miller to Karanji, who then gave up a double play interference call after Braden Barrett put one on the ground after him. Chase Moore takes outside. 1-0. Lined out to short. His first at bat, that was where Ronnie Raby made a fantastic play behind second base. Inside fastball put the other way into left center field. It'll drop down for a base hit. The first hit for the Boilermakers. The throw to third is not in time. They'll capitalize on the throw, and Chase Moore will go to second base. It'll be ruled a single, but Shenwan's at third. And Moore is over at second after advancing on the throw. But the first hit for the Boilermakers makes it 2 runners in scoring position for the 16U visiting team. 4-0 Philly Bandits, top of the 4th in the College Dreamstream Series Game 1 at Frank Wolfgang Baseball Field at Delaware Valley. Off speed too high again. Miller wanting to catching the inside part of the plate with the off speed. Try to paint the corner on the knees. Can't find it. 2-0 to Lucas Zipper. He flew out in his first at bat to end the first. Flew out over to Kalenko and left. There's that fastball at the knees. 2-1. Beautiful October day. High and in. Zipper swings through for strike 2. Leaves starting to change colors with the trees behind the outfield fence. Temperature climbing to the 70s. Popped up in foul play, and it'll be too far behind us, keeping it at 2-2. Only 1 out for the Boilermakers. Called strike 3. Fastball paints the outside low corner for the second strikeout for Michael Miller for the Philly Bandits. Now in steps the first base runner for the Boilermakers today, River Karanji. As he takes high and in. It's the second, or actually the third pitch thrown at head level today, as he has to duck through all 3 of them. Backdoors the off-speed pitch on Karanji. 1-1. Two outs, 2 runners on, and Karanji rips one down the left field line. It hooks foul. Everyone's got to go back, and 2 runners will stay in scoring position. But now a 1-2 count between the battle between Michael Miller and River Karanji. Karanji steps back in a huge spot to put some runs on the board for the Boilermakers. Fastball put on the ground over to shortstop. Raby makes the play. Throw to first is in time for out number 3. 2 runners in scoring position for the Boilermakers, but it does not phase Michael Miller. He keeps a goose egg on the board for the Boilermakers, and the Bandits still have a 4-0 lead going to the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back right here on BFA. Bottom of the 4th in Game 1 of the College Dreamstream Series at Frank Wolfgang Baseball Field. Boilermakers taking on the Philly Bandits. Bandits already up 4-0 in the bottom of the 4th. 3 runs scored in their last inning of work. Scored the first run in the bottom of the 1st. And a new pitcher for the Boilermakers. It was Josh Darsney, but now it's Thatcher Brown from Germantown Academy High School. Can also play third base as well, but second pitch from Scullin drilled into center field, but under it is Shenwan makes the catch for out number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out for Thatcher Brown, who stands at 6'2", 195 pounds. Next batter is Nolan Kalenko. 6, 7, 8, just like the second inning, are due up in this 4th inning against Brown. Fastball just a little bit outside, but almost reaching 80 miles an hour for Thatcher. A lot of heat from this young guy. Another high velocity fastball. Kalenko, he flew out to center, just like Scullin did just a few pitches ago. Kalenko in a 2-strike count. Pennsbury High School kid takes low. 2-2 count for Nolan Kalenko. Stands at 5'11", 210 with a 3.4 GPA. Birthday coming around in a month and a half. Tipped into the glove, 4, strike 3. Kalenko goes down on strikes. First strikeout for Thatcher Brown. It'll be the third time the Bandits have gone down on strikes today. Now in steps Will Henderson. He got on base with the force out. His last at bat. Put a ball on the ground in the second inning, but they only threw it to second. Got on base safely. Fastball paints the corner. Next pitch from Brown. Off speed, but it's drilled into left field, and it dunks down for a base hit. So the Bandits getting another hit on the day for Game 1 of this College Dreamstream series. And they haven't gone down 1-2-3 yet today. But Brown was almost there, but he could not deliver on that last pitch. And Will Henderson at first base for Gavin Ruda, typical right fielder for the Bandits. He grounded out in his last at-bat. Fastball taken inside, it just pokes out of the glove. For Karanji, the new catcher for the Boilermakers. It was Zipper for the first 3, but now it's Karanji. Brown gives his peaks at first base. Next pitch is put on the ground, a high chopper over to second base. Fielded cleanly, but it gets away from him, and it's not in time as well. And it goes out of play. So the runner at second will be granted third base, and the runner at first is granted second. So 2 runners in scoring position after the missed throw for the second baseman of Zipper. Time called by Karanji, and they'll have a discussion with Brown to talk things over with 2 runners in scoring position against Jake Martin. Just a quick chat, and now in steps Jake Martin, the catcher for the Philly Bandits. He struck out looking to Josh Darsney, the starter today. Two runners in scoring position for the right-hander. First pitch way outside. Great glove from Karanji. If it got by him, it would have scored at least one. 1-0 count for Jake Martin. Next pitch from Brown. Fastball paints the outside part of the plate. 1-1. The 1-1. Lined out into center field. Shan Wan getting a read. He makes the catch in right center for the third and final out. 2 runners threaten on the base pass in scoring position with a single from Will Henderson and Gavin Ruda capitalizing on the error, but no run score for the Philly Bandits. It's still 4-0 as we head to the 5th. Boilermakers back up to bat when we return here on BFA with the College Dreamstream series. Game 1 College Dreamstream Series underway in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Delaware Valley University Boilermakers down 4-0 against the Philly Bandits 17U squad. For the Boilermakers, they were able to get their first hit against Michael Miller, who's still on the mound for the Bandits. Got the start today, and he's still been dealing for Philly today. Braden Barrett, the leadoff batter in the 5th. Barrett, Hansen, and Schaffert due up in the 5th. Ball lifted out into right center field. The right fielder of Ruda gets under it to make the catch for the Bandits. For out number 1, another quick first out, this time for the Bandits. Barrett will go down with the fly out to right. Stepping in is Jamie Hansen. Hansen popped out to short in his last at-bat to end the 2nd. Jamie Hansen from St. Joe's Prep High School, 5'11" catcher at 185 pounds for the Boilermakers. Drilled down the left field line. It stays fair for a base hit. Hansen will take a turn, and he'll stop at first with a great throw from Kalenko in left field to only make it a single. Second base hit for the Boilermakers today. First one was back in the 4th with Chase Moore with 1 out. But now with 1 out in the 5th inning this time, it's Jamie Hansen. Michael Miller will come out of the stretch again. Off speed, drops in for a strike. Gavin Schaffert stepping into the right-hander's batter's box. Flew out in his first at-bat, 0 for 1 today. Same pitch, same result. A looking strike for Gavin Schaffert. Fastball left side again, and it will get through for another base hit for the Boilermakers. First time they've gotten back-to-back base hits today. And now they're trying to create a rally in the 5th, down 4-0 against Michael Miller. In steps Cole Kuhn. It's the first strikeout victim for Mike Miller today. There's definitely a little confidence, but not as much as last time, as there's now 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position for the Boilermakers. Ball hammered into left field, but Kalenko just takes a few steps to his right to make the catch for out number 2. Everyone will stay put. 2 outs in the 5th. Michael Miller trying to get out of another situation. Yeah, 2 runners in scoring position in the 4th, but he's only got 1 runner in scoring position with 2 runners on, this time in the 5th. He's trying to make quick work of the Bandits. Now in steps Thatcher Brown, the new pitcher that stepped in for the Boilermakers in the last half inning. Fastball is lifted in the air on the right side in foul ground. First baseman makes the diving catch for out number 3. Myers had to fall to his knees to make the catch, but he converts for out number 3. Michael Miller only giving up 2 base runners and nothing else, as it's still 4-0 Philly Bandits. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 5th when we return on BFA. College Dreamstream series underway with game 1. Philly Bandits up 4-0, trying to tack on more insurance runs for Michael Miller. But Thatcher Brown on the mound for the Boilermakers, trying to keep it a 4-0 lead. Delivers with the outside fastball to the number 11 hitter, Dylan Hollenbach. Created a third inning barrage with a 3-run third inning for the Philly Bandits. Only other run came in the bottom of the first. Fouled straight back. But Hollenbach back in the third inning got on base with the single, but was able to take second with a stolen base. Was able to get to third and score on a wild pitch from Josh Darsney, the starting pitcher for today for the Boilermakers. Off speed from Thatcher Brown, but it's on the ground to third. Throw by Zipper over to first. Across the diamond is in time for the first out of the bottom of the fifth. Now we flip the lineup card back over to Lucas Albert, who's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run. That came back into the third inning as well. Off-speed pitch backdoors Lucas Albert for a strike. Next pitch. Tipped into the glove for an 0-2 count for Lucas Albert. And we'll see what Thatcher Brown can make of Lucas Albert for this next pitch. 0-2 count for the right-hander. The 2-strike pitch. Way outside. It gets past the catcher of Karanji. One-two count for Lucas Albert now. Lucas Albert calls time. Not a cloud in sight in Doylestown, Pennsylvania today. Off speed is high, and it's put up high in foul ground towards the third base side, but it goes off the fencing of the dugout. Keeping it at 1-2. Everyone gets back set. The 1-2 pitch again from Thatcher Brown. Take it outside, 2-2. He's been trying to utilize the off speed in this 2-strike count. Just a little questioning about the count. It's 2-2. Time called again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Thatcher Brown. Chopped foul towards the Bandit dugout. Still a 2-2 count. On deck is Dax Kaplan. He's gotten on base twice and scored twice as well. Outside fastball swung through for strike 3. Second strikeout for Thatcher Brown. Second swinging as well, and in steps Dax Kaplan, the third baseman, in that 3-run third inning. Able to get on base with the single and was able to score a run. Was able to score off the Alex Myers ground out. Drills one left side. Another base hit for Dax Kaplan. He's 3 for 3 today. A 2-out base runner for the Philly Bandits. And Ronnie Raby is going to face Thatcher Brown, this time in the stretch. Raby is 0 for 2 today with an RBI fielder's choice. Back in the 3rd inning, he scored Lucas Albert in the 3-run 3rd inning. Got all the way to 3rd, but did not score. He also struck out in this game as well. It's the first strikeout victim for the starter of Darcy. Thatcher Brown throws back to first. Kaplan stays put. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, game 1 of the College Dreamstream series. Lined into center field. And Shanwan will get under it for out number 3. A base runner threatens for the Philly Bandits, but nothing goes as it stays 4-0. And as we go to the top of the 6th inning, Boilermakers coming back up to bat. We'll see if they can come back down 4 runs when we return here on BFA. Back here for game 1 of the College Dreamstream series on BFA. Michael Miller still on the mound for the Philly Bandits. For the Boilermakers, it's going to be 10, 1, and 2 due up. Josh Darcy, the starting pitcher, got relieved by Thatcher Brown, steps in to the batter's box. He went down on 1 pitch last time, and he hammers one down the left field line. Getting a read on it is Kalenko. He makes the catch for out number 1. Pretty good piece of hitting. He got a lot of barrel on the ball, but just was drilled up too high. Not the right launch angle that you want. And he goes down on 2 pitches this time instead of 1. And steps the leadoff batter, Shanwan. 0 for 1 today with a fly out and a walk. Got all the way to 3rd after the walk. Could not score. No one scored yet for the Boilermakers. It's 4-0. Wormburner over to shortstop. Raby makes the throw over to first in time for out number 2. Now in steps Chase Moore, the guy that was able to get the first hit for the Boilermakers in the 4th inning. As he's 1 for 2 with the line out as well. Be rolled as a G6 in the book for Shenwan, as he's now 0 for 2 with the walk. Now in steps Chase Moore, the shortstop, the left-hander for the Boilermakers from Upper Moreland Township High School. Off speed, drops in the zone for a strike. Moore is 5'10", 130 pounds, 3.9 GPA. Takes again, 0-2. Fantastic pitching from Michael Miller today. Tried to go with the low fastball, couldn't deliver. 1-2. He's going at a really good pace as well. The 1-2, way outside, 2-2. 2-2. Called, strike 3. Chase Moore goes down looking. First looking strikeout for the Boilermakers. And Michael Miller goes down 1-2-3 again against the Boilermakers. Still 4-0 Philly Bandits as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back right here with the College Dreamstream series right here on BFA. Chopper over to third base as the umpire fell. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. New pitcher for the Boilermakers is Jamie Hansen. St. Joe's Prep High School he comes from. 5'11", 185 pounds. Can also play catcher. Expected to graduate in 2027. Coming in relief for Thatcher Brown. Looks like the ump is okay. So he tripped over his own 2 feet right after the ground ball from Alex Myers. It's his second ground out today. Grounded out to second base, his first time up, or his second time up, I should say. Delivered 2 RBIs so far in this game, but led off the 6th. Not able to bring in anyone home that time. Now in steps Gavin Grasso. He's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a ground out. Ground out came in the last at-bat, back in the 3rd inning. High and in, too high and in. 3-0 count for Grasso. Call the strike. So they got a new batter in for the Bandits. It's Andrew Enders. As it hits off of Enders, and he'll be granted first base. Been ruled ball 4 anyway if he got out of the way of it. But he's on base with a hit by pitch. So now in steps Brody Scullin. It's from Bishop Shanahan. 6 foot, 175 pounds with a 3.8 GPA. Scullin's 0 for 1 with the hit by pitch as well. Takes inside. 1-0. Hansen having a troublesome time to find the zone in the first couple of batters. Thankfully he has one out in the bottom of the 6th. Just trying to keep it 4-0. Titus Academy awaits the Philly Bandits. That'll be game 2 of this college Dreamstream series. Next pitch taken inside. Just trying to find the strike zone, and the Bandits are just keeping the bat on the shoulder because of it. Too high, ball 4. Scullin gets on base again. Thankfully he didn't get plunked this time. 2 runners on for Hansen, and Kalenko will step in with time called, and we'll have a talk with the second baseman as well as Hansen. It's Darcey trying to give advice to his counterpart of Jamie Hansen. Darcey was the starting pitcher, in case you missed it. Hansen finds the strike zone. 0-1 to Nolan Kalenko. He's made some great plays in left field today, but he's 0 for 2. Strikeout in his last at-bat, and in his first appearance he flew out to center. Upstairs and away. 1-1 for Kalenko. One pitch. Fouled away. And now it goes back to Hansen's favor again. 1-2. Hansen trying to keep Kalenko 0 for today. And a 1-2 count. Time called. He's got 2 runners on in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. The 1-2 pitch from Hansen. Drilled over to second base on the forehand. They'll try and turn the double play to throw to second is in time, but they do not throw it over to first. So the shortstop Moore was able to cover in time for the second out, but runners are on the corners for Will Henderson, who's gotten on base twice today. Will Henderson with a single and a force out so far in this game 1 of the College Dreamstream series. Looks like they're going to have a talk with each other, with the umps. And we'll see what happens here. Be a conversation on the mound as well with the Boilermakers infield. As we said, game 2 is going to be next at around 11:15. Titus 17U will go against the Philly Bandits 17U team, who are currently facing the Boilermakers right now, up 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Runners on the corners for Will Henderson, hit by pitch for Enders. He's over at third, and a fielder's choice by Kalenko. He's at first base. Hansen trying to get out of the inning scot-free. All he needs is 1 out in the 6th to keep it 4-0. Change up right below the knees. For a ball, 1-0. Inside fastball, 2-0. Will Henderson in the 4th inning, when he got the single, got all the way to third. Could not get home, though, to score the potential 5th run. Got jammed on a fastball, and he just fouls it away, third base side. Hansen gets back in the count, 2-1. Wind's starting to pick up as the day goes on, but it's pushing outwards towards right field. Slider goes outside, 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is low as the runner takes off, but doesn't matter. They try to throw it to second base, but it was cut off by the pitcher. Bases are loaded for the Philly Bandits. In steps the left-hander of Gavin Ruda, the typical right fielder for Philly. First walk given up from Hansen. This is first inning. He's trying to make sure that he gives up no earned runs in the bottom of the 6th. Inside fastball. 0-1. Enders at third. Kalenko at second, and Henderson now at first. Hansen delivers. Too low. 1-1. Gavin Ruda is 0 for 2 today. Gone on base with the error. The throwing error from the second baseman of Darceny, and grounded out as well. Now he grounds it over to second base for the 3rd time today. Darceny makes the throw in time, and the Boilermakers keep it a 4-0 ball game, headed to the top of the 7th. Game 1 of the College Dreamstream series is in favor of the Philly Bandits as they're up 4-0. We'll see if they can come out on top in the top of the 7th. We'll see if Michael Miller comes back out again for the top of the 7th to get the complete game shutout. We'll be right back, right here on BFA. Top of the 7th inning. Michael Miller still on the mound for the Philly Bandits, trying to get the complete game shutout. Top of the 7th inning between the Philly Bandits and the Boilermakers 16U squad. Philly Bandits 17U squad will play at 11:15 as well. They'll be the visiting squad against Titus Academy. This game 2 first pitch will be at 11:15. Call the strike. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Boilermakers, down 4 runs. Zipper zips one into center field. It drops down for a base hit. Lucas Zipper will get on base with a leadoff single. First time that's happened today for the Boilermakers. A leadoff base runner, or a leadoff hitter. They only had that happen one other time with River Karanji getting on base with a hit by pitch. Now in steps River Karanji with a runner on first. Too high. 1-0 count for River. 0 for 1 with the hit by pitch. Grounded out in his last at bat in the 4th. Backdoors the slider. 1-1. Too high. 2-1. Michael Miller is struggling a little bit to find the zone, but when he finds it, he's giving up too much of the plate. Too low. 3-1 for Karanji. Miller has 3 runs to work with to make sure it doesn't go to the bottom of the 7th. Karanji drills one left side through the left side hole for a base hit. Runner at second and first base after back-to-back no-out 7th inning hits from the Boilermakers. And they're trying to crawl back into this game to see if they can at least force a bottom of the 7th for the Philly Bandits. Braden Barrett steps in, who's 0 for 2. Flew out as well as got a double play. That was his first at-bat. Flew out to lead off the 5th. Slider catches the outside part of the plate. 0-1. Two runners on, 1 in scoring position for the Boilermakers. Down 4 runs in the 7th. Final inning of this game. Outside fastball put the other way into right field for a base hit. The bases will be loaded as they give the runner the stop sign at third base. Zipper. Bases loaded, no outs for Michael Miller. 3 base hits given up to start off the 7th. And now there's going to be a mound visit. We'll see if Miller's day is done with the bases loaded and no outs in the 7th. But great piece of hitting so far for the Boilermakers. Zipper with a base hit and Karanji with a base hit, both into left field. And then Barrett was able to put one the other way into right field on the outside fastball. And it looks like Michael Miller's day is going to be done. And Matt Grin will check in for the Philly Bandits. So he'll warm up. Michael Miller will fist bump everyone. Thank you for their time in the infield. And a great day for Michael Miller. Went through 6 innings, gave up no runs throughout the entire game. He almost got the complete game shutout, but 3 straight base hits given up. Gets him pulled, and now in steps the left-hander, Matt Grin. Is expected to graduate in 2026. 5'10", 165 pounds. Perfect GPA, 4.0. Comes out of Neshiminy High School. This will be a different approach for the Boilermakers with the left-hander coming onto the mound as they faced Michael Miller, a right-hander, the whole day. Jamie Hansen, Gavin Shafford, and Cole Kuhn all due up. the bases loaded and no outs. Huge opportunity to get them back into the game. Hansen and Schaffer both have hits, but Kuhn is 0 for 2. Both Hansen and Schaffer getting their hits in their last at-bats. 1 out base hits in the 5th. Trying to create damage in the 7th for the Boilermakers. Philly Bandits, as we mentioned, they'll play next in Game 2 against Titus Academy. And the Boilermakers, their next game is Game 3. That'll be at around 1:30 against Riot. Game 4 will also be between Riot and Titus. But as Bryn gets warmed up, here comes Jamie Hansen. Hansen pitched in the 6th. Had a bases loaded 2-out situation, was able to get out of it after a ground out by Gavin Ruda. And now he has a bases loaded situation for himself as a hitter. And this time, this is where you want to give up runs if you're Hansen. You want to make sure that Bryn gives up runs instead of yourself. 4-0 game, but it's now in the hands of the Boilermakers to see what they can do with the bats. Try and capitalize in the 7th. Off speed below the zone. A lot of great movement from Bryn on that off speed pitch. But it's 1-0. Does not fool Hansen. Hansen got all the way to second base after his hit. Could not score. Too high, neck level. 2-0. Hitters count with the bases loaded. 2-0 pitch from Bryn. Fouled away, opposite way. 2-1. Two-one pitch from Bryn. At the knees, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 4-0. Top of the 7th. Bases loaded, no outs for Jamie Hansen. 2-2 count. The pitch from Bryn. Fouled straight back. High fastball. But Jamie Hansen stays alive. Silly. 2-2 count for the right-hander. The 2-2 again. Off speed, poked foul. Staying alive, keeping it at 2-2. The 2-2, one more time with the bases loaded in the 7th. Southpaw delivers. Called, strike 3 to Jamie Hansen on the inside part of the plate. First batter, it's a looking strikeout for Matt Brim. Now in steps Gavin Schaffer, also 1 for 2. Grin gets the strike. Single in the last at-bat for Schaffer. Flew out in his first at-bat. Grin, the 0-1 pitch. Just outside. 1-1. Really good placement. Just did not get the call from the home plate umpire. It's 1-1. Hammered out into left center field, but actually it's going to die down right before the outfield grass, and the shortstop of Ronnie Raby will make the catch. Now there's 2 outs with the bases loaded for the Boilermakers. Final chance here. Cole Kuhn stepping in after the pop out to short from Gavin Schaffer. Kuhn 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. Flew out in his last at bat. Off speed way outside, 1-0. now starting to come in from right field. Fouled away. 2-1. Displaying the eye there, 3-1. If he walks Kuhn, it comes in for a run with the bases loaded. And he walked him. So it'll be a 4-1 ball game. Boilermakers trying to scrap back into this game against the Bandits. Delivers the first run with an RBI walk from Cole Kuhn. First time on base today for Kuhn, and the Zipper able to score from third base. Everyone moves over to their next base. Now it's Thatcher Brown, who's 0 for 2 as well. Popped out in his last at-bat, also has a fly out to right. And he is the leading run for the Boilermakers as he steps into the right-hander's batter's box. A lot of righties for this Boilermakers team. First pitch, outside, but it's called a strike. Or 0-1, excuse me, is hit the other way into right field. It falls down for a base hit. Thatcher Brown gets an RBI single, and the bases will remain loaded. The lead was cut in half in the 7th inning. It's now 4-2. So Karanji scores in the 7th with his counterpart of Zipper, who scored with the walk from Kuhn. But now Thatcher Brown at first, Kuhn at second, and Barrett at third base. Now Josh Darsney steps in and try to finish what he started. Gave up 4 earned runs. Now with the leading run at first base. 4-2 ball game as he fouls one straight back. Bryn still with the bases loaded. Another foul ball. 2-strike count for Darsney. Darsney 0 for 2, fly out in his last at-bat to start the 6th and grounded out to start the 4th. And he's trying to end it in the 7th. 2-strike pitch from Bryn. In the dirt, and it gets away. Runner coming home, and Barrett will score with ease standing up. 4-3 Boilermakers. Only down 1 against the Philly Bandits. He's got the tying run at third, leading run at second base, both in scoring position. Trying to force a bottom of the 7th inning and try to stun the Philly Bandits right before their game against Titus Academy. That game happening at around 11:15 after this one. Top of the order up now for the Boilermakers. Top of the order due up after Darsney as he stays alive in the 2-strike count. But Barrett scores off the wild pitch. Darsney still in a 2-strike count. So he swings through for strike 3, and that'll do it. The Philly Bandits end it after giving up 3 runs in the top of the 7th to Zipper, Karanji, as well as Barrett. All 3 of the guys that gave up 3 base runners in the top of the 7th inning. But great job for the Bandits to get out of that 7th inning with the bases loaded and no outs, only giving up 3 runs, and the Bandits will take on Titus Academy at around 11:15. Game 1 of the College Dreamstream series goes to the Bandits, and the Boilermakers go down 0-1, with the Bandits now 1-0 for their 17U squad. Titus Academy and the Philly Bandits will take place again around 11:15 here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Delaware Valley University. You're tuned into BFA, as well as the Game Changer app. We'll be right back at around 11:15 for the first pitch between the Bandits and the Titus Academy. Don't go anywhere. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series underway here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Delaware Valley University. It's Titus Academy 17U squad taking on the Philly Bandits, who just came off a victory against the Boilermakers 4-3, as they were up 4-0 for pretty much the whole game. We scored 3 runs in the third as well as 1 in the first, and then the Boilermakers were able to come back a little bit but could not finish the job in the 7th. They scored 3 runs after 3 base hitters were given up by their starter Michael Miller. And Titus is home and the Philly Bandits are now away. They were home in their first game against the Boilermakers. For the Bandits it'll be Cole Stocks, but right now it's Hunter DeCarlantonio who is on the mound for Titus Academy. And for the Philly Bandits, they got pretty much a similar lineup, or actually almost the exact same lineup, only one tweak besides positioning in their lineup, but it's still Lucas Albert, Dax Kaplan, and Ronnie Raby all due up in the top of the first. The Bandits still wearing their pink unis with their white pants, and Titus Academy coming in with their dark blue and gray pants today. First pitch to Lucas Albert. He shows bunt, but it's ruled a strike either way as he pulled back. Their baseman of Pritchett had to come in a little bit, but Lucas Albert comes in for the Philly Bandits as the leadoff guy again at second base today in this game as well. He grounds one over to shortstop to Catalina. Catalina the throw to first, not in time. Albert's too quick. It'll be a leadoff base hit for the Philly Bandits, as they've just been everywhere when it comes to hitting. They've been all over the base paths today in their first game against the Boilermakers, and now trying to do the same thing against Titus Academy. It's one of the main guys that had a huge difference in game 1. Dax Kaplan went 3 for 3 in game 1 against the Boilermakers, still batting second for Philly. First pitch from DeCarlantonio to Kaplan is ruled a strike again. DeCarlantonio set, throw back to first to Lucas Albert. Not in time, but DeCarlantonio, he's from Delaware Military Academy, expected to graduate in 2025. Can also play catcher, but also a right-handed pitcher, as you guys can see. 5'11", as Kaplan lofts one in the air into shallow center. It'll drop down for a base hit. So everyone will move up 90 feet, and no one is behind the second base bag, and Lucas Albert would take advantage of the missed throw. Now runners on the corners for the Philly Bandits, attacking early. First 2 base runners on. Now at the corners at third and first. So it just dropped into center field. They threw it to second, and it just took a awful bounce in the dirt. And the pitcher, DeCarlantonio, was behind third base as he should, but the missed throw resulted into Albert going over to third. Runners on the corners for Ronnie Raby. He had a couple of RBIs in game 1 in the first and at the third inning against the Boilermakers. DeCarlantonio jams Raby, and it's going to be a foul ball for the Bandits. DeCarlantonio definitely wasn't expecting to be out of the stretch this early with no outs in the first. Taking a long time on the mound, trying to calm the nerves a little bit. The throw back to first, not in time. Focusing more on the runner at first than at third, but that's what you got to do with runners on the corners. Make sure that the force outs stay put. Wind really picking up as the day goes on, as we get closer to noon. Now pushing in from right field as Raby swings through for strike 3. And DeCarlantonio now can try and get out of this with a double play if the infield can turn it. So we'll see if he can put Alex Myers on the ground. See if he can get one pitch resulting into 2 outs. First pitch to Myers is too low. 1-0. If you missed game 1, Alex Myers was able to get a hit as well. And he's from Germantown Academy, standing at 6'1", 160 pounds with a 3.6 GPA. Expected to graduate in 2027. The only guy for the Philly Bandits expected to graduate in 2027. Carlantonio will step off. He's making sure that he keeps the base runners in check with Dex Kaplan at first, Lucas Albert over at third. Runner takes off at second. They will throw to second. It goes off the pitcher's mound, but they'll cut it off right before it gets to second base to make sure that Lucas Albert stays at third. No runs score, but there's 2 runners on so far in this top of the first with 1 out. First 2 guys for the Philly Bandits 17U squad got on base. Both now in scoring position. Here's Hunter. Chopper over to the right side. This will at least score 1. Second baseman fields it. Throw to first is in time. Mamula fielded it, was able to get a nice throw over to first in time for the second out. But the Philly Bandits strike first again, this time against Titus Academy. It's 1-0 in the first inning. Philly Bandits able to score in the first inning in game 1 against the Boilermakers. They're doing it again against Titus. Be an RBI ground out for Alex Myers. As Lucas Albert will score. Outside fastball by DeCarlantonio. Grasso now steps in. It's over in center field. Grasso went 0 for 2 in game 1. Trying to turn it around in game 2. As he takes low, and catcher Jeremy Driscoll will find it. Already a 1-0 lead for the Philly Bandits. Chopper over to second base again. This will be Mamula again. Throw to first is in time. Back-to-back groundouts to second base. That time it didn't result into a run, but they got a ground out RBI from Alex Myers in the top of the first. It's already 1-0 Philly Bandits. They score in the first inning again. We'll see if Titus can respond in the bottom half of the first when we return right here on BFA. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series underway as it's already 1-0 Philly Bandits attacking again in the first inning, as that's how they got the scoring started in Game 1. That started around 9 o'clock as they beat the Boilermakers 4-3 in Game 1. Already with a 1-0 lead against Titus. Titus with their first at-bats. Gavin Miller, the leadoff batter, shows bunt but holds back, but it's ruled a strike either way. Titus has 14 batters in their lineup today. Miller lifts one into right field. Racing after it is Ruda. Gets under it and makes the catch for out number 1. 2 pitches, 1 out for Cole Stocks, the starting pitcher for the Philly Bandits. Looking at Cole Stocks, right-hander, standing at 6'4", 215 pounds, from William Penn Charter. Expected to graduate in 2025. The only person on this team expected to graduate this coming graduation. And now in steps the starting pitcher for the Titus, Hunter DeCarlantonio. First pitch is ruled a strike. Hunter not too happy with that, but down 0-1. Outside, 1-1. Next pitch from Stocks, drilled right back up the middle for a base hit. First hit on the day for Titus Academy. And it comes from their own starting pitcher, Hunter DeCarlantonio. And now in steps the 3-hole batter of Austin Sherman. Looking at Austin Sherman, he's expected to graduate in 2025 as well. He can play catcher and the infield as well as pitch. 6'1", 185 pounds as he pokes one the other way foul towards the soccer fields. Starts off the at-bat, 0-1. Cole Stocks attacking the strike zone early against all 3 batters that he's faced so far. And this Bandits team is definitely warm from their first game that they won at 9. Grounder over to shortstop. This could be 2. The throw to second for 1 is in time. Throw to first in time as well. And Cole Stocks gets out of just a little bit of a jam in the first inning. Gives up a base runner to DeCarlantonio, but Austin Sherman was able to ground into a double play for the Philly Bandits to keep it a 1-0 game. We'll be right back right here on BFA with Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series in the top of the second. Top of the second inning for the Philly Bandits and Titus Academy. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series at Delaware Valley University. Frank Wolfgang Field. Philly Bandits were able to score a run after an RBI ground out from Alex Myers. And next batter for Philly Bandits, Brody Scullin will poke one the other way, foul. Already a 0-1 count. Brody Scullin, he's in left field for game 2. It's just a hitter for game 1. Moves Kalenko in left field for game 1. He's just now a designated hitter for the Bandits in game 2. He's on deck. Hunter DiCarlantonio on the mound. High chopper over to shortstop. Catalina will make the play. Fires to first in time for out number 1. What a rocket throw from Catalina at the shortstop position to convert for the first out of the top of the second. Now in steps Nolan Kalenko. So you just mentioned he's designated hitter for the Philly Bandits 17U squad for game 2. Played left field in game 1. A great stretch also from the first baseman for Titus Academy of Sobocinski. Sobocinski and Barthoff also share the first base position today. They'll be bouncing back and forth every other inning of who gets first base. DiCarlantonio fires a strike, swings through it. Is Kalenko. Nolan Kalenko in game 1 got on base with the fielder's choice but went 0 for 3 in game 1. Trying to turn it around for game 2 against Titus. Hits one the other way as he gets jammed on a fastball. After it is the left fielder, a diving attempt, but it's off the glove and it'll be over to second base. You make the catch for out number 2. What a catch for the left fielder, and get a look at the replay. Was able to dive and make the catch right before the left field line. What a play. To convert for the second out, that could have been extra bases. Next pitch is low. 1-0 for Will Henderson. Gets jammed on the fastball, hit the other way, foul. Back-to-back contact for the Philly Bandits have been jammed on both batters. For Will Henderson, he's a catcher and infielder at 5'9", as he takes a strike, 180 pounds from Father Judge. Bakir Avent with the great catch in left field to convert for the second out. Be one of the plays you see on his prospect reel once he gets one. DiCarlantonio called strike 3, delivers on the strikeout on Will Henderson. Second strikeout for DiCarlantonio. First one looking, and he goes down 1-2-3 against 6, 7, and 8 for the Philly Bandits. Titus Academy back up in the bottom of the second, still only down 1-0. We'll be right back right here on BFA with the College Dreamstream series. already 1-0. Philly Bandits up against Titus Academy in the bottom of the second inning. One of the greater moments of the top half was Kier Avant making a diving catch in left field to convert for the second out to keep it at 1-2-3 inning for the Titus Academy. Next pitch is outside from Cole Stocks. 1-1. Next pitch just a little bit inside. 2-1. For Titus Academy, up now is Max Barthoff. Cleanup batter for Titus. Just gets a piece of it. 2-strike count now for Max. Barthoff, he's coming from Sun Valley High School in Pennsylvania. He's typically a first baseman, but can also pitch. Pitches with his left hand as well. 6'1", 190 pounds. Called strike 3. Be the third strikeout on the day for either side, but the first strikeout for Cole Stocks as he gets Bart Hoff looking on strikes. In next is Chase Pritchett. Mike Deloso also due up in the bottom of the second. Chase Pritchett coming out of Smyrna High School in Delaware. Catcher and infielder and right-handed pitcher. Takes a strike. 6'2", 190 pounds for Chase. Next pitch. Chopper over to third base. This will be Kaplan. Dax a throw to first in time. Really good arm from Dax to get it over to first in time to get Pritchett for the second out of the bottom of the second. Now in steps Mike Deloso. He's got the gold helmet for Titus. Coming into the right side. Deloso out of South Sienum High School, and it's going to be lifted out into right center field. After it is the right fielder of Ruda, and he makes the running catch for out number 3. So Titus goes down 1-2-3 once again against the Philly Bandits. It'll be the top of the third, still a 1-0 lead for Philly. We'll be right back to see if they can extend their 1-0 lead when we return right here on BFA. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series already in favor for the Philly Bandits 17U squad as they're taking on the 17U squad of Titus Academy. Hunter DeCarlantonio still in for Titus as he delivers a first pitch swinging strike to Gavin Ruda, the right fielder, in his first at-bat. Went down 1-2-3 in the top of the second. Trying to repeat that in the third with the bottom of the order. It's got 9, 10, and 11 due up. Ruda, Enders, and Hollenbach due up in the third. Another strike. 2-strike count for Gavin Ruda. Gavin Ruda, an outfielder and pitcher from William Penn Charter. 6 foot, 175 pounds. Lifts one into left field, but it's playable for the shortstop, Catalina. He makes the catch for outs number 1. In steps Andrew Enders, who came in as a pinch hitter for the Philly Bandits in Game 1 that they won against the Boilermakers 4-3. Enders got hit by a pitch and got all the way to third but did not score. First pitch is too low. 1-0 for Enders. Next pitch is 2 inside. 2-0. Enders count for Andrew Enders. Time called by home plate umpire. Hunter to Carl Antonio does not even move. Stays in the same spot as he's set to deliver to Enders. Time called, this time by Carl Antonio. Not sure if you like that huge gust of wind that just came through. Again, pushing in from the right field foul pole. Ball lifted into center field. In right center, and they're not able to make the catch, and Enders is going to try and capitalize and try and extend it to a double. The throw to second, not in time. Enders gets into second base. Runner in scoring position for the Philly Bandits. We'll see if they can extend their lead 1-0, but here's that play in right center field. They tried to communicate with each other, but did not end well. Able to just got out of the glove of the center fielder of Deloso. And Enders just capitalized and was able to sneak into second base right before the tag was applied. Good heads-up play from Andrew Enders to keep rounding first. Thought about by Hollenbach. It's outside. 1-0. Hollenbach got on base a couple of times in Game 1. Was able to score the second run of Game 1. Trying to see if he can score the second run of Game 2 by potentially hitting one in with Enders in scoring position. (1-0) in the dirt. Hitters count again. It's time for Hollenbach. Hollenbach 5'8", 145 pounds from Nishimini High School. 2-0 pitch. Poked out the other way. It might be playable for Titus, but it just rolls, or just goes over the fence to go out of play. But Dylan's staying alive. Carl Antonio trying to squeeze another out of the Philly Bandits. Expected to go 5 innings today as he delivers another strike to Dylan. 2-strike count for the designated hitter. Hunter set. Looks back at second. Here's the pitch. Chop first base side, but rolls foul. Staying alive in a 2-strike count. Dylan in protection mode. And all he's looking for is just to squeeze more pitches out of DeCarlantonio, but also get on base as well and potentially score the runner in scoring position of Enders. Poked over to shortstop. It's a worm burner. Throw to first off the back foot is in time. Enders does not move, so he'll stay at second. But a great hustle play from Catalina with the back foot throw to convert for out number 2. Let's take a look at that Game Changers replay. With the slow roller just at the brink of the grass, just able to fire it over to first, and a great pick from the first baseman for Titus of Bartholf to make sure it's a sure out number 2. Strike called to Lucas Albert. A lot of great highlight defensive plays for Titus so far today. Avon getting started, and now Catalina making some great plays as well. Albert swings foul. Bandits have been very solid defensively as well today. They had Rabbi in game 1 make a diving catch in game 1 of between the Bandits and the Boilermakers. That was in the first inning. Outside. Two outs. Runner at second for Lucas Albert, the leadoff batter. 1 for 1 today with a run. The only run scored in this game by either side. DeCarlantonio delivers to Albert. Hit the other way into left field, but it hooks foul. Enders has to go back to second, and Albert will stay alive in the 2-strike count. Dax Kaplan on deck. Kaplan has not gotten out today. 4 for 4 through both games. Went 3 for 3 in game 1. And got a hit in his first at-bat of game 2. Got all the way to second base, but did not score. Ball called on DeCarlantonio, and Enders will be granted third base. So DeCarlantonio discussing with the bases umpire what happened in that balk. Full count now for Lucas Albert. Now he's got a runner just a base away from scoring. Pitch to Albert. In the dirt. Now it's a full count. Pitch again from DeCarlantonio. Chopper, first base side, foul. As it was deflected by the first base coach, who's holding the shin guard of Enders. Bandits got a laugh out of that one. Another 2-strike count for Albert. Staying alive against DeCarlantonio. Increasing his pitch count. Drills one right side over to second base. Fielded cleanly by Mamula in time for out number 3. They threaten with a runner in scoring position, the Bandits, but They could not get Enders to score, and it's still a 1-0 game, and we'll see if Titus can capitalize on potentially some more runs. We'll see if they can do that right here in Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series presented to you by BFA. Bottom of the third of Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series, presented to you by BFA and the Game Changer app. Cole Stock's still in for the Bandits. Delivers with a first pitch strike to Reed Mamula. He's gotten a lot of plays at second base today. Now he's trying to capitalize with his bat. Puts one the other way. Foul. 0-2 count early for Reed Mamula. 7-8-9 due up for Titus Academy's 17U squad. Taking on the Philly Bandits, who are already up 1-0 against Titus. Low, 1-2. Titus coming at Philly again with 14 batters. Slider out and away. 2-2. Titus only with one hit coming from their own pitcher, DeCarlo Antonio. 2 inside, almost hitting Mamula. But going from 0-2 to 3-2. Trying to stay alive and potentially get on base for Titus. Pitch from Stocks. 2 inside, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Titus. And we'll see if they can get something rolling against the Philly Bandits. Something they haven't really seen too much. Pressure from the opposition. And we'll see if Titus can deliver some pressure before the 7th inning arrives. And when I say that, the Boilermakers, who they faced in Game 1 of this College Dreamstream series, faced the Philly Bandits and put on 3 runs, all 3 of their runs, against the Philly Bandits in the 7th. See if Titus can put the pressure on in the 3rd. In steps Zen Sabansinski. Pitch to Zobasinski is a strike. Zobasinski from Delaware Military Academy, just like the starter of DeCarlo Antonio. 5'10", 200 pounds. High and in, and he swings through. First strike, 3. Not too happy with himself that he chased at the high cheese. Keeps the runner at first. And in steps Brant Coran. Be the second strikeout for Cole Stocks. First one was looking from Max Barthoff to start to second. Throw over to first is not in time. Cole Stocks still eyeing up first base. Next pitch. High and in again Can't find the zone with that pitch. 1-0 to Brant Caron. Caron from Sanford School in Delaware, an outfielder and second baseman. 5'5", 110 pounds. It's right back to the pitcher. They'll try to turn two. Throw to second is in time for one, but Caron's too quick, as he'll be safe at first. 2 outs now in the third. And the force out, Caron will be granted first base. Mula going back to the dugout after they're able to convert at second for out number 2. In steps Jonathan Downs. Downs from Conrad School of Science. Right-handed pitcher and outfielder with a 4.8 GPA, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Swings through for strike 1. Runner takes off. Throw from Alex Myers to second base is in time. Got the tag on the leg. They're able to convert and make sure that no runs are still put on the board for Titus Academy. 1-0 in Game 2 of the College Dreamstream Series. We're headed to the top of the 4th. We'll be right back right here on BFA. Philly Bandits back up to bat in Game 2, already up 1-0 against Titus Academy. Looking to extend their lead against DeCarlo Antonio. Still out there for Titus. It's 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Philly Bandits. Dax Kaplan, Ronnie Raby, and Alex Myers. Call the strike for Dax Kaplan. Kaplan, again, 4 for 4 so far today on October 12th. Has not gotten out today in both games. Fouls one away. So to count for Kaplan, is DeCarlo Antonio is trying to change that with potentially one swing or a ball in play. Oh, 2. Poke the other way over to DeCarlo Antonio. Underhand flip to first is in time. And Kaplan will be out for the first time today, as he's now 4 for 5 between 2 games against the Boilermakers and now Titus. Ronnie Raby steps in, who was the first strikeout victim for Hunter DeCarlo Antonio. First pitch is low. 1-0 for Raby. Slow chopper, but it just gets foul. Just off the end of the bat for Raby. Raby, a middle infielder from LaSalle College High School. 5'11", 160 pounds for the Philly Bandits. Expected to graduate in 2026. Two outside. Rabby staying alive and displaying the eye. Hunter delivers with another fastball, reaching 84 miles an hour. He's definitely got the hardest fastball so far in the span of these two games. Fastball swung through for strike three. Hunter to Carl Antonio. He's starting to get into the groove of things as he's settling in. We'll see that strikeout on the game changer replay. Went with the low off-speed pitch that got Rabby swinging on strikes again. Third strikeout for DeCarlo Antonio. As that one's drilled the other way into right. Back goes the right fielder, and it goes over his head as he looked like a deer in headlights looking for the ball. It's a double for Alex Myers. It'll be a two-out base runner for the Philly Bandits. It'll be Hana, the right fielder, who kind of looked at it at first but then started to race back for it as it went all the way to the fence. So a two-out base runner, and he's in scoring position for Gavin Grasso. Ended the first inning in his last at-bat with a ground out. Trying to turn his day around with a swing right here. Grasso 0 for 3 today through both games. Drilled over to first base, fielded cleanly, and all he's got to do is step on first base for out number 3. Sobocinski with a great glove and great footwork at first base to convert for the third out of the fourth. They get a base runner with a two-out double from Alex Myers, but still 1-0 Philly Bandits. We'll see if Titus can answer when we return on BFA. Jonathan Downs gets another plate appearance after Brant Caron got caught stealing to end the bottom of the third. Cole Stock still on the mound for Philly as the ball's going to lift foul towards right field. 10, 11, 12 to up for Titus. Again, Titus going at Philly with 14 batters. Off speed, drops into the zone. 2-strike count now for Jonathan Downs. Jonathan Downs from Conrad School of Science. 6 foot, 190 pounds. Hits one the other way down the right field line. It drops down for a base hit and gets past the right fielder of Ruda. Down's going to dig for 2 as it reaches the corner. And he'll get a stand-up leadoff double for Titus. Runner in scoring position early for Titus. Let's take a look at the replay. Pretty much hit it off the end of his bat, but was still able to drive it the other way to convert for 2 bags. So now Downs at second base, capitalizing in his second chance. Hit the other way again, but hooks foul. It's Steven Catalina in for Titus. Trying to at least tie it with a base knock. Bottom of the 4th. Takes at the knees for a strike. 0-2 count for Catalina. Catalina from Delaware as well. 3.8 GPA, 6'1", 180 pounds. Cole Stock set. Delivers high and in and hit the other way. Catalina just battling against Stocks. Fighting everything off. Two-strike pitch again. Chopped over to third base, and it hooks fair, and there will be no throw. They're going to throw back to second as the runner got a little greedy, and he's tagged out. Jonathan Downs thought about going to third base if the third baseman of Kaplan threw it, but he got overzealous, and they got him front-footed, and they were able to get him out for the first out of the 4th. So Catalina's at first after the fielder's choice. First pitch is taken low. This is Bakir Avent, who got that diving play in left field to convert for the second out of the second inning earlier in this game. Takes inside, 1-1. Bakir Avent, he's from Concord High School in Delaware, an outfielder. Perfect GPA of 4, 5'7", 170 pounds. High and in, this time he takes 1-2. Titus plays later today in Game 4 of this college Dreamstream series. That'll be at 3:45. Two inside. Stocks attacking the inside half against Avent. He's found it twice, but has missed twice. It's 2-2. Runner does not take off, but it's called. Strike 3. Avent goes down on strikes looking. And another strikeout for Cole Stocks, his third on the day, second looking. First one looking was against Max Barthoff. The only other one swinging was against Zen Zobasinski. That one was back in the third inning. The number 13 batter, Jeremy Driscoll, the catcher, steps in with the pink bat, pink gear as well. Looks really good in it. Two outs with a runner at first in the bottom of the 4th. High and in, swings through for another strike. Runner takes off. Called strike 3, doesn't matter. Jeremy Driscoll goes down looking on strikes. The second looking strikeout in a row delivered by Cole Stocks as he keeps a 0 on the scoreboard for Titus. And it's a 1-0 game still for the Philly Bandits as they are back up to bat in the top of the 5th. Game 2, College Dreamstream Series, still underway here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. We'll be right back with the top of the fifth, presented to you by BFA. Six, seven, eight due up in the top of the fifth inning. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series, presented to you by the Game Changer app and BFA. Philly Bandits up 1-0, trying to extend their lead against Hunter DeCarlantonio as Brody Scullin checks in. He grounded out in his first at-bat. Brody Scullin, a catcher and outfielder, 6 foot, 175 pounds, from Bishop Shanahan. Hits one foul. Next pitch from Hunter, in the dirt. Should be DeCarlantonio's last inning. They're expected to go with Jonathan Downs for the last 2. Another foul ball for Scullin. 2-strike count for the left fielder. Called strike 3 to Brody Scullin. It'll be the 4th strikeout for the right-hander of Hunter DeCarlantonio. Has been really solid against Titus. The only problem is he hasn't gotten really any run support from the bats that he's got behind him. See if that turns around once the later innings come along. That's what happened to the Boilermakers in Game 1 against the Philly Bandits. Able to score all 3 of their runs in the 7th inning against Michael Miller, their starter. But now Cole Stock's doing the same for Philly. DeCarlantonio delivering a really good game against Philly as well. Called strike for Nolan Kalenko. Grounded over to shortstop to Catalina. Fields it, throw to first. Is just in time. Just a half step behind the throw. And Catalina with another great play at shortstop. Goes off the end of the bat on the high and away fastball, and Catalina able to fire it in time. Another beautiful back foot throw. There's that instant replay, slowing it down. They got the right call. He was just off the bag. Now 2 outs for the Philly Bandits. Lifted in the air to right. Avon after it. He makes the catch as he settles under it for out. number 3. A quick 1-2-3 inning and a final inning for Hunter DeCarlantonio, only giving up 1 run after a ground out in the first inning that was able to score Lucas Albert in the first. 1-0, Philly Bandits still up in Game 2 of the College Dreamstream Series, presented to you by BFA. We'll be right back. Bohanna, Gavin Miller, and Hunter DeCarlantonio due up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Titus Academy down 1 against the Philly Bandits. Both 17U squads getting a pitcher's duel here in Doylestown, Pennsylvania on a beautiful October day, as the Philly Bandits in Game 1 won 4-3 against the Boilermakers. That first pitch was at around 9 o'clock. Grounder over to shortstop. Rabi makes the play. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. It's actually Lucas Albert who's switched over to the shortstop position. And he converts for the first out. That is delivered by Bohanna, one of the designated hitters for Titus. So now back to the top of the order to Gavin Miller. Left-hander looks at a curveball for a strike. DeCarlantonio due up next after Gavin. And he had a really solid 5 innings of work against Philly. But Gavin Miller takes outside. He flew out in his first at-bat into right field. Next pitch is chopped right in front of him, and it'll be just tipped out of play by the catcher, Alex Myers. Be a 2-strike count for Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller only playing in left field today, switching out back and forth with Avon. Next pitch. Hit the other way into left center field. This one will drop into left center for a base knock. Gavin Miller with his first hit of the day. And it will be the second hit or the third hit by Titus Academy. And here comes Hunter DeCarlantonio, who's actually going to get... We're going to make sure that they get Gavin Miller's bat. But Hunter, he's been on base as well. He got a hit in his first at-bat. He's 1 for 1 today. And he delivered 5 really strong innings of work with a really high heater to deliver with it as well. Takes high. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Stocks, just below the knees, 2-0. Next pitch from Stocks is just at the letters for a strike, 2-1. Colstock's trying to make sure it stays a 1-0 game headed to the 6th inning for the Philly Bandits. At the knees for strike 2. DeCarlo not too happy with both those strike calls. But really well-placed pitch from Stocks have resulted into 2 strikes. 2-2 count. With a runner at first in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 game. Hit the other way, foul. Was just a little late on it. Time called. Hunter wants to take control of the game himself. 2-2. Falls into the dirt. 3-2. The 3-2. Hit the other way into right field. After it is Ruda. He gets under it, makes the catch for out number 2. DeCarlo falls to 1-2. And now in steps Austin Sherman, the only person on this team who has committed to a college. Sherman is going to Alvernia once he graduates high school. Sherman from Appoquinimink High School in Delaware. 6'1", 185 pounds. Shoots one the other way into right field. It falls down for a base hit. And they'll only stay at second. But now the runner from second, Gavin Miller, takes off for third. And he's in there safely. Runners on the corners for Titus. And Cole Stocks has fallen himself into a pickle with runners on the corners with 2 outs. Max Barhoff, the first strikeout victim for Cole Stocks, steps into the left side. Really trying to come through for Titus and at least tie this game with 1 swing. He's got a runner a base away from scoring. Looks at the first pitch strike. Michael Miller was the starter for game 1 for the Philly Bandits, and now Cole Stocks trying to replicate something similar and keep it a shutout for the Philly Bandits as Barthoff swings through for strike 2. Trying to avoid striking out twice today. It's in a 2-strike count once again to Cole Stocks. With runners on the corners in the bottom of the 5th. Tying run at third. Stocks is set. 2-strike pitch, called strike 3, and Barthoff goes down looking for the 2nd straight time for Titus. And it stays a 1-0 game for the Philly Bandits as they're able to hold the runners on the corners for Titus Academy. Still 1-0 as we head to the top of the 6th. We'll be right back with the Philly Bandits back up to bat, presented to you by BFA. Top of the 6th inning, and Cole Stocks keeping it a 1-0 game after runners on the corners with 2 outs against Titus Academy. Keeping it a 1-0 game, a pitcher's duel between Hunter DeCarlantonio and Cole Stocks. As Hunter's still out there, they still trust him, and they'll keep Jonathan Downs in the dugout for now. He was due up for the 6th, but now Gavin Ruda grounds one over to the right side. DeCarlantonio was covering, but Ruda was too quick. So get on with the error. And now Andrew Enders steps in with a base runner on. First time that's happened for him today. Came in as a pinch hitter with nobody on, and he led off in the 3rd in his first at-bat, but popped out to short. Or excuse me, he got on via the error in his first at-bat. It was a dropped ball by the center fielder in the 3rd inning. This pitch is too low. DeCarlantonio hasn't given up a leadoff base runner since the 1st inning, where he gave up a leadoff single to Lucas Albert, followed by a Dax Kaplan single as well, and that scored a run by Alex Myers. Tag not in time as they checked on first. DeCarlantonio has really had a solid day. A lot of great pitching displays between all 3 teams through 2 games. Throw back to first, no tag applied. Andrews trying to get on base again and advance the runner at first, at least to second. Runner takes off. The throw down is a little too high, but also a little too late. Gavin Ruda with a stolen base for the Philly Bandits, and he's in scoring position with no outs for Andrew Enders. The Bandits would love to tack on more runs against Titus. DeCarlantonio set, time called by Andrew Enders. DeCarlantonio went down 1-2-3 in the last inning. And the only time he's given up only more than 1 base runner was back in that 1st inning. Trying to keep it that way as he pitches one outside. Next pitch. Swung on and missed by Enders. Off-speed pitch. Just leaking out of the zone. Enders falls for the bait. DeCarlantonio looks back at second. Checks in on him. It's Gavin Ruda at second. Enders and Hollenbach are due up in this 6th inning. Enders thought about it, but it's ball 4. It's too low. 2 base runners on for the Philly Bandits. 1 in scoring position, and Dylan Hollenbach is trying to make sure that they could get some insurance runs tacked on in the 6th for the Philly Bandits. Hollenbach has only gotten on base once today with a single in Game 1 against the Boilermakers. Was able to score a run after getting on base in that 3rd inning of Game 1 of the College Dreamstream series. But you're tuned into Game 2. Taken outside. 1-0 count for Hollenbach. Grounded out in his first at-bat in Game 2. That was back in the 3rd inning. He's got 2 runners on First time he's gotten an at-bat with runners on base. He drills one over to shortstop. This could be two. To flip to second for one is in time. Throw to first, not in time. Hollenbach with speed, got to first safely. So Enders is out at second. Ruda advances to third, and Hollenbach is at first. Runners on the corners for the Bandits as they flip the lineup card over back to Lucas Albert, who's 1 for 2 in game 2 and has scored the only run for the Bandits and in this game. Lucas Albert takes outside, and thought about throwing it to second and thought about going to second was Dylan Hollenbach, but just went back to first with no throw. Titus could have gotten a second out, but they understand they got a runner at third that they got to keep in track of as well. Throw back to first. Got to make sure they check on him quickly with the runner at third. Tag applied, not in time. Outside, and Hollenbach takes off. There will be no throw, simply because they got a runner at third. Now 2 runners in scoring position for the Bandits with 1 out. The top of the order up. Lucas Albert, the second baseman, trying to tack on more runs against Titus. He takes time. Poked foul, other way. Next up for game 3, it's the Boilermakers again, but this time they're going to be taking on Riot for game 3. That's up next at around 1:30. Albert hits it over to shortstop, but it squeaks out of his glove, and everybody is safe. Runners on the corners again, and now it's a 2-0 game in favor of the Bandits. Take a look at the replay. Just got out of his glove, and Catalina couldn't do anything with it. So it'll be an RBI error for Albert, and Ruda will score. Hollenbach at third now. And in steps Dax Kaplan, the last guy you really want to face in this Bandits lineup based off his performance today. Combined in both games, 4 for 5. Got out his first time in his last at-bat with a ground out to the pitcher, to Carl Antonio. Fastball 2 outside. 1-0. Hunter really frustrated with himself that he couldn't locate at the knees with the fastball. 2-0 game in the 6th. Bandits on top. Throw back to first, not in time. To Carl Antonio, just looking for an out by any means. He's only had 1 out this inning. Called a strike, 2-1. Kaplan got on base his first time around in the first inning, got all the way to second, did not score. Carl Antonio, 2-1 count. It's a foul ball. Even count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Umpire needs more baseballs. Two balls, 2 strikes to Dax Kaplan. breath from Hunter. Steps off. 2-2 pitch. Hit the other way into right on a line. Makes the catch as the right fielder, and they'll throw back to first, not in time. Runner did not tag as well. So everyone stays put with the line out to right field. And in steps Ronnie Raby. It's a very close play at first. Let's take a look at it. Throw in. Just got his foot in time before the catch was made by the first baseman, Sobosinski. Hana with a great throw from right field. Just barely in time. Raby has struck out twice today as he takes first pitch for a strike. Both swinging. Back in the fourth and the first. Carl Antonio shaking off his battery made of Jeremy Driscoll off a few times. Throw back to first, not in time. Boilermakers getting ready for their second game. Riot in the cages right now, getting ready for their first game. Runner takes off, but they're not going to throw. Simply because there's a runner at third, so Albert will take second base with ease. He got a little dirty on it as he slid in, but didn't really have to. Just making sure, though. 2 runners in scoring position for the Bandits. 2 inside. Ronnie Raby from LaSalle College High School. 5'11", 160 pounds, middle infielder. It's called a strike. 2-strike count again for Raby. I struck out twice today, and the pitcher, Hunter DeCarlo Antonio, trying to make it a hat trick for Raby. Swing and a miss. It is the hat trick on strikeouts for Raby. And got out of a little bit of a jam, but the Bandits score 1 after a couple of errors, a walk, and a fielder's choice, and ends the inning with the strikeout from DeCarlo Antonio, who's been really solid for Titus Academy. 2-0 Philly Bandits. We'll see if the Titus Academy can answer when we return here on BFA. Back here at Frank Wolfgang Baseball Field, Game 2, College Dreamstream Series. Philly Bandits up 2-0 in Game 2 of the College Dreamstream Series. Philly Bandits taking on Titus Academy. Both 17U squads in a pitcher's duel. As Cole Stocks still on the hill for the Philly Bandits. has been pitching a gem today. Another shutout performance from a starter from Philly as that ball gets away from Alex Myers. But it's 5, 6, and 7 due up for Titus. Got Chase Pritchett up right now with Mike Deloso and Reed Mamula due up in the bottom of the 6th. Another strike delivered from Stocks. Pritchett from Smyrna High School in Delaware. Catcher, infielder, and right-handed pitcher at 6'2", 190 pounds. So far today, 0 for 1 with a ground out. That one's lifted on the right side. After it is the first baseman trailing back as he makes an Odell-type catch for the first out. It's Will Henderson for the Philly Bandits, laying on his back to make the catch in foul ground to convert for the first out of the 6th. There's a lot of sun in his face, but he had the sunglasses to help him out. And just a reach back just to make the catch, hat falling off and everything. To make sure there's no base runners. Glasses fell off too. Thankfully he is okay. His head did whip back a little bit. Now in steps Mike Deloso. He flew out to right field his first time up. Fouled straight back to me. Again, they got the batting cage equipment right behind home plate. If it does reach into that area, it will be ruled a dead ball. Some of the equipment broke here at DVU. They weren't able to get it off the field. Foul the other way. Another 2-strike count opportunity for Cole Stocks. This pitching staff for the Bandits has been absolutely on fire. Right back to Stocks, and they can field balls too. Flip to first in time for out number 2. Philly Bandits have been really solid defensively and pitching-wise. They've been able to combine for 6 runs so far in the game. And Myers and Stocks will have our conversation with 2 outs. And Deloso coming in, or excuse me, Reed Mamula coming in. With nobody on in the 6th. He walked in his first at-bat, but he was a force-out opportunity at second and did not reach second base after the walk. But he steps into the right side. Mamula from Avon Grove High School, right-handed pitcher and second baseman, swings through for the first strike. 5'9", 155 pounds. 3.7 GPA as he takes low. 1-1. Fouled straight back and it got stuck in the fence. Can't really hit a ball any perfecter than that to get it stuck in the fence. Next pitch taken just outside, maybe a little high as well. I've never seen that before, getting stuck in the fence, especially a metal fence like that before. Popped up in the infield. After it is the second baseman. He'll make the squeeze for out number 3. Titus goes down 1-2-3, and it stays a 2-0 game for the Philly Bandits. There's the visiting squad. They got one more chance to tack on more runs as it's 2-0 as we head to the top of the 7th right here on BFA. Game 2 of the College Dreamstream series underway with Philly Bandits taking on Titus. Bandits up 2-0 against Titus. First pitch gets away as there's a new pitcher on the mound for Titus. Fantastic day from Hunter to Carl Antonio. But Bohana will step in as the new pitcher for Titus. Looking just for 1 inning of work, final inning between the Bandits and Titus. There will be a bottom of the 7th. Titus is the home squad. Hana, Tower Hill School in Delaware. Delivers a fastball that's fouled away on the right side. It's Alex Myers, Gavin Grasso, and Brody Scullin. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bandits. Bohana also can play outfield. 3.0 GPA, 6'5". Towering menace on the mound. 2 inside, 2-1. Off speed outside again, 3-1. Be Jake Martin going to be pinch hitting for Gavin Grasso. He's in the on deck circle for the Bandits. Sawed off as Myers fouls it into his own dugout. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 7th, 2-0 lead for Philly Bandits. Takes for ball 4. Alex Myers on base with a leadoff walk. And in steps Martin. Jake Martin, a catcher and third baseman, coming in as a pinch hitter at 6 foot, 185 pounds from Nishimini High School. 3.7 GPA for him. Now Hana will come out of the stretch. Delivers with a strike to Martin. Martin coming in for Grasso, who went over 2 groundouts. Martin did play in game 1, went 0 for 2. Getting another opportunity in game 2. In the dirt, and Myers takes off. There will be no throw. Runner in scoring position for the Philly Bandits. We'll see if Martin can capitalize with a runner in scoring position and tack on more insurance runs for Cole Stocks, the starter for the Philly Bandits. Just above the letters. Next pitch from Hana is sawed off by Martin, and a leaping catch by the second baseman. Mamula was able to make the catch right in front of second base for the first out of the inning. So Myers stays put at second base. So now in steps Brody Scullin with a runner in scoring position in the 7th. It's from Bishop Shanahan. Catcher, outfielder, expected to graduate in 2026. Catcher, outfielder. Hana delivers. Foul tipped. Straight back. It's 0-1. Kalenko getting the foul ball, and he's on deck. Hana taking his time. Too high, a little bit inside as well. Be 1-1 to Scullin. He's 0 for 2 with a looking strikeout and a ground out, both to lead off the innings. Struck out in the 5th and grounded out in the 2nd. Finds the inside half of the plate for a strike. 1-2 to Scullin. Riot and the Boilermakers getting set for Game 3 of the College Dreamstream series behind me. 1-2. 2 inside. 2-2. More action of this College Dreamstream series underway at Arcadia University. Scullin rips it foul towards the Titus dugout. But 4 games going underway there, as well as the 4 games going on here at DVU, Delaware Valley University, Frank Wolfgang baseball field. Pitch to Scullin is popped straight up in the infield in foul ground. Under it is the third baseman making the catch for out number 2. So after the leadoff walk, a line out and a pop out go the next 2 batters. And Alex Myers is just chilling at second, waiting to be giving the go sign to go to third and potentially even to come on home. Now here's Nolan Kalenko, who's 0 for 2 as well. Grounded out and flew out in his first 2 at-bats today. Time called by Kalenko. Kalenko hasn't gotten a hit today, but he's gotten on base twice with a fielder's choice and a hit by pitch. And he gets plunked again. The second time Kalenko has been plunked by a pitch. Got hit in Game 1 against the Boilermakers, and now in Game 2 against Titus. Not the prettiest way to get on first base, but he's able to do it. And now there's 2 runners on for the Bandits, with Will Henderson stepping in. He's 0 for 2 as well. Flew out in his last at-bat. He's also struck out looking. That ended the second. At the top of the 7th we are. Bandits versus Titus. Head level fastball for ball. Hana has been struggling to find the zone. Will Henderson trying to potentially get an RBI. So he foul tips it off the umpire. Hopefully he's okay. Thankfully it hit his face mask, but still definitely don't want it to hit anybody. He'll shake things off. Hana and his battery mate of Jeremy Driscoll will talk things over. Everyone's set with 2 runners on in the 7th. 2-0 game. Bandits up against Titus. Hana delivers. Lifted into left field. After it is the left fielder racing after it. It just tips off his glove and tips off the wall as well. 2 runners will score, and it'll be a triple that they're going to try and extend it to. He is tagged out at third, but 2 runners do score right before that third and final out was made. So it's a 4-0 ball game going into the 7th again for the Bandits, as they were able to go up 4-0 going into the 7th against the Boilermakers in Game 1 of this College Dreamstream series. We'll see if they can shut the door in Game 2 when we come back on BFA. Cole Stock still on the mound for the Philly Bandits, up now 4-0 against Titus. And 8, 9, and 10 are due up for Titus, trying to see if they can get 4 runs back that they gave up in the field. Zen Zobasinski steps in as he lifts one straight up into the infield on the first pitch. After it is Albert, and he'll make the catch in the infield grass for out number 1. It was actually Ronnie Raby making the catch at shortstop. Was able to convert for the first pitch out. And now there's 2 outs remaining between the Bandits going 2-0 with their 17U squad in this College Dreamstream series presented to you by BFA and the Game Changer app. They won 4-3 in Game 1. And now are trying to make sure it stays a 4-0 shutout in the 7th. With Cole Stocks on the hill. Now it's Brant Corin. Corin takes 1-1. He got on with the force out and was caught stealing to end the 3rd. Rips one right back up the middle, but it's caught by Cole Stocks for the 2nd out of the inning. What a play from Stocks. Take a look at the replay. It just rocketed right back to him. Don't really see L1s in the books too much. But Cole Stock delivers. It's the 2nd play in the field, but his only line out right back to him. All he had to do is stick the glove out and flash the leather. But Titus down to their final hope in their first game of this College Dreamstream series. Downs lifts one in the air, 3rd base side in foul ground. Racing after it is the catcher as well, making the catch in time for the 3rd out, and that'll do it. The Philly Bandits convert on a 4-0 shutout and a complete game shutout from Cole Stocks through 7 innings. Starting pitching has been the gem for them with their 17U squad with Cole Stocks and Michael Miller both going scoreless in their starts. 4-0 in Game 2 between the Bandits and the Titus Academy baseball squad. Bandits going perfect 2-0, and Titus starting out 0-1 in this College Dreamstream series this weekend. Up next is the Boilermakers 16U squad going up against the Riot 16U squad at Game 3. That game will be starting at around 1:30. Stay tuned for that. We'll be right back with Game 3 from BFA.